It's Sunday, and I had a question about the English muffins that I make. And so I thought, you know what, while I'm just standing here browning English muffins, I may as well answer that question. And maybe this will help somebody get ready for the week. So this is the English muffin recipe that I use. You get a saucepan out, and you take 2 cups of whole milk, and it calls for 3 tablespoons of honey as well. I use maple syrup, so you could do that as well. And then you just warm it on your oven top until it is warmer than cold milk, but cooler than your bathtub is what I do. The recipe actually calls for 115 degrees, but I don't usually do that because I am a renegade, I guess. So I just stick my finger right in. If I can comfortably hold it there and it feels warm, but that I can hold my finger in there for 3 seconds without it hurting anything, I take it off the heat at that point, and it's like medium low, but I'm going to show you. I have a 100-year-old oven, so for me medium low is hard to explain because it's a button system on this old of an oven. So this is on right now. This would be off until the light goes off. For me, it's this button, that first orange button there is the one that means medium low. I'm actually cooking up here right now, but so if that's helpful, I hope it is. It's like medium low, and then you just keep kind of stirring it until all the maple syrup is incorporated into the milk and it's nice and warm. You take it off the stovetop at that point, put in 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast. I just use store brand, whatever. And then 1 egg leave that in there for 5 minutes. Let the yeast like activate, get happy, start a party. You could get a glass of wine. I'm not saying I recommend that you get a glass of wine. I'm just saying you could. So once the yeast is having a party in there, then you're going to put in 1 egg. You're going to whisk it in. That is room temperature. So 1 egg that's room temperature. Whisk it in, and then 4 tablespoons of butter that you've already pre-melted. So it's already melted. Dump it in there, whisk it in, and then set that to the side for a minute. Go over to your KitchenAid mixer. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you should get one. I'm not sponsored at all. I paid full price, just like you're gonna pay full price, but I use that thing constantly. All right, hold on, let me check the time. I have 1 more minute before I have to take something out. Okay, so get a KitchenAid mixer, put the dough hook on. If you don't have one, you're going to have to actually do this by hand and knead and look up how to make bread in that situation, because it was the same idea. You're just going to be kneading the dough. What you do is you put 5.5 cups of flour in there. I do half whole wheat and half white this time, and then 1.5 teaspoons of salt, just regular table salt. Mix those up with the dough hook first. Go take your warm mixture and pour that in slowly, letting the dough hook incorporate the whole thing. So you're going to get that all mixed in. It will be really sticky, so just keep adding flour a half a cup at a time until it becomes a ball where it's sticking together on its own. Hold on, let me check these. So you want them to be able to be a big ball, like a ball of bread dough that you would see if you've made bread before, or if you've just seen it on TV. It will look like a ball that stays together and is kind of elasticy. Once you've hit that stage, take it out of your KitchenAid, oil a bowl, dunk your bread dough, well, English muffin dough in this situation, in the bowl, flip it over so that there's a bit of an oil on the top so it doesn't dry out. And then what I do is actually, hold on. We try not to use any plastic, so I use a silicone lid. This is a Norwex one, but I just stick that on the bowl so that it's covered from anything being able to get into it. It's more important in the summertime so that, like, if you had bugs around or whatever, it wouldn't get in there. If you've got flies in your house from leaving the door open. In the wintertime in the Northeast, not really a problem. Everything around here is hibernating or gone. So I'm just going to take, actually, hold on just a second. Yep, that was loud. Okay, better. So, what you do after that you're going to put it in someplace warm for an hour. I actually just bring it back over to the burner that was doing the saucepan, and I put it near the burner, whatever, leave it until it's doubled in size. It takes about an hour. When you're done with that, you go in. I use a pizza cutter, but I like dump it out onto a cutting board, use a pizza cutter to cut the dough into half again, and then into thirds from there. So if you're keeping track, that makes 24, unless I did my math wrong, in which case figure it out in your head so it makes 24. I'm not great about remembering that. But anyway, I keep cutting until there's 24. You're going to roll each 1/24 in your hands like a ball and then flatten it down flat. I use Pampered Chef stoneware. That's what I have for my baking stuff. So what I do is dust it with cornmeal and then put the discs on there. So once I've made them, they go right on there, cold obviously, and then cover the top of them with cornmeal and put those covered with a tea towel someplace warm so they can rise and double for another hour. So 2 hours of that time, you're really just hanging out, doing whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't matter. Watch a show, binge watch something. You can tell everybody what you're doing right now is making English muffins, right? Everybody will be super impressed with you. They won't ask questions about what you did during the rise time. Okay, so then once that's done, this is the tedious part, and that's why I thought, well, what the heck, I'll make a video while I do it. You have to brown each side for 2 minutes to make it look, isn't this lovely? Look at this. To make it look that's hot, like an English muffin. Doesn't that look like an English muffin? I'm well pleased with that. So what you do, hold on, I've got to grab the ones that are farther away now. When you're done with the disc making, see, they started out flat and they do get puffy, and that's to put all the nooks and crannies in, but this is what it will look like, a bit like a fluffy biscuit. And so you just drop those in a dry frying pan, so you don't have to add something to it. I use the cast iron one, but whatever you've got is probably fine. You just put them in about 2 minutes on each side. You saw that I increased the temperature for this, so I would recommend like medium to medium high. With your newfangled technology, you've got, you know, all those options. Mine is the third orange button, so that makes a lot of sense for everyone. And then just flip it after 2 minutes. Put them right back onto the baking sheet, and then what you're going to do is pop them in the oven at 325 for 10 minutes. Now, that makes an English muffin, and you're done. You can eat it right then with some jam. You can be really fancy and get yourself something made with figs and feel super continental. But what I do, because we're American, is I bake scrambled egg mixture in 9x13 pans. Not normally, just only when I'm doing this recipe, because they cut really nicely, and that speaks to my OCD. It lets me feel like everything is precise. I love that. So I cut them into squares, and then I pop a really unappetizing square of egg onto the English muffin. It tastes great, but they look weird because they look like fast food, like super manufactured food is what it looks like. It's not though. It's just eggs and milk, and you know, you mix it up and you just bake it. But anyway, they cut really easily. Put one square onto each English muffin, put a piece of cheese onto that, and then the top of the English muffin. And what I do is I wrap them in wax paper, because again, we try really hard to be eco and not use a lot of plastic if we can help it. So I wrap them in wax paper, and I put them in a container, and I put them in the freezer, half of them, and the other half of them I put into the refrigerator. And so the ones in the refrigerator are for people to have right now, and then the ones, sorry, I'm flipping again, the ones in the freezer I will put in the refrigerator once the refrigerator ones are gone. So it's just a really easy way to have breakfast sandwiches. If I'm going to be completely honest, it's just a really easy way for me to get 10 more minutes of sleep. That's what it boils down to. I'm already awake on a Sunday afternoon. I don't mind making English muffins because my kids are building a Connect set right now, so they're busy. And so I can sit here flipping these English muffins and catching up on my Facebook and whatever. But then tomorrow, when it's Monday morning and my kids have to go to school and all that, I'm just going to grab 2 breakfast sandwiches out and put them in the microwave for a minute. It means mommy doesn't have to cook tomorrow. So do a little bit more work so that you do a lot less throughout the week. All right, hopefully this is super helpful to you. This is for those friends that asked for this tutorial. I hope it was useful. I've never written a tutorial before, but I hope this made sense. If you want me to try out a different recipe, girls, just comment below and I'll I will sacrifice myself to you and be the guinea pig that makes it for you. I fail as often as I get it right, so you can see that happen too, I suppose. But at any rate, this was English muffins and ultimately breakfast sandwiches, and I hope it was super useful. So go get to doing something that will save you time tomorrow. Have a great day.